My name is Rayme Aquino. I'm currently a senior at MHS. I'm part of the Montebello Oiler Band.
Okay, so what colleges do you apply to? What universities?
So I actually applied to 4 Cal States, 4 UCs, and 4 privates. For privates, I applied to Brown University, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, the California Institute of Technology, CIT, and then Caltech, and then Harvard, actually. So far, I've gotten an interview with Harvard, and I have an interview on tomorrow, Wednesday, with MIT actually, so I'm pretty excited. Besides that, for UCs, I applied to UCLA, Berkeley, Irvine, and I think San Diego. And for Cal States, Cal Poly Pomona, Northridge, and San Francisco.
Hopefully you get admitted.
Yeah, hopefully.
Um,
So actually, my plan after graduation is I want to major in astrophysics actually. So it's like a completely different thing, but I do want to continue my study of music. I was considering getting a minor actually in independent playing, I guess you could call it. But I do plan on joining like any clubs available, or actually maybe even starting mine, because I know a lot of like Ivy League schools, diversity is important, and I feel like I could probably help start maybe a mariachi club, a cumbia club, something Latin American, and I feel I would really want to do that.
culture definitely plays a big role in music and in the arts generally. How has your culture affected your music style?
So definitely, I'm Mexican American. Both of my parents come from Mexico, Puebla, and I really associate myself with my cultural roots. And I've done everything possible to, go to Mexico, learn about my parents, learn about my grandparents, learn about my history, because a part of that history is what makes me me. And so in my playing, it really shows because I listen to a lot of cumbia, I listen to a lot of banda daily, and when I play, I feel like that, that rhythm, that putting yourself out there really shows myself in my playing.
And it really grabs you and attracts you. The music
Yes.
flows through. I just want to mention definitely culture plays a big role in identity in the past, and in the future it affects the present and most importantly the future. If you were to form a mariachi or a cumbia band, what would you call it? What would you call it?
That's hard. So actually, during middle school and high school, I actually did form like a cumbia group with a couple of my friends, and we never came up with a name, but we just played for fun, and it was actually really cool. So I honestly have no idea what I would call it, but it would definitely be a fun project with friends and maybe a fun project for the school.
That's true. Who would you consider had the biggest influence in your life?
In terms of education, my parents. My parents have really pushed me to get the best education I could. Even if we didn't have the most things, I guess, the most resources, they've always placed my education in front of everything else. And I feel thanks to them, I'm very dedicated. I'm very persistent when it comes to my education. And in terms of music, my sister is my biggest role model because obviously she's my older sister and she was the one who played flute. She's the one who started my musical journey because I wanted to be like her and I wanted to follow in her footsteps.
Can you tell us more about the youth orchestra
Yeah,
of LA, the program you are in?
Of course. So it's called the Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles. It's a side program from the Los Angeles Philharmonic, which is our orchestra here in LA. It's accessible for everyone, K through 12. I joined at the end of my 4th grade year, and I've been there since then. Basically, it's a program that gives free resources to learn any instrument in the orchestra. Obviously, it gives you an instrument. It gives you free music. It gives you free lessons. For me, especially, I really applied myself in the program. And so I've had the opportunity to play at the Super Bowl. I went on tour with them to Mexico when they went So I got to play side by side with them. I've also gone to like summer programs through them, like the Interlochen Arts program, which is crazy, but it was cool. So yeah, it just gives free resources to anyone. And I feel like it would be, if you're interested in that type of stuff, if you're interested in music or just you want something in general, I feel like it would be good for anyone to join.
That's very nice. I just got this question. What attracted you to the trumpet?
So I actually picked up the trumpet in second grade because my parents were not able to pick me up right after school. And so my elementary had after school ELO, and they had a music program. And on the very first day, we were testing out instruments, and I really wanted to play percussion because everyone wants to play, the drums, But I saw the trumpet and I was like, this looks cool. And I played it and it was really loud. And I was like, why? Why is this so loud? But it really interested me, because I was small, but I was able to produce such a large sound. And I was really able to express myself in that way.
Make a change. Do you have anybody in your family who plays any instrument?
My little sister actually plays flute. She's just like 1 year younger than me, and then my older sister also used to play flute, but she's stopped playing, so it's mostly just me and her, my little sister.
So it's more of a musical family.
Yeah, I guess you could say so. My parents never played music, so we were kind of self-taught in that manner. And the reason I wanted to play music was because of my older sister. I wanted to follow in her footsteps.
That's true. How long have you been playing the trumpet?
I've been playing the trumpet for maybe 8 years now, I think so. And I've been in my program for 7.5.
Okay, how has the Super Bowl experience, how are your preparations for the Super Bowl experience?
So basically what happened was that I'm part of this youth orchestra. It's called the Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles, or YOLA. And there's 3 sites. And so what they do is they have this cross site, which is like an interaction with all these sites. And I applied for that and I got in. And they emailed me like maybe a week after we had our first rehearsal. They said, do you want to be a part of a special opportunity? And I was like, sure. And I was like, what is it? And they're like, we can't tell you. And I'm like, okay. And I was very confused. And then maybe like a week after that, they called me. It's like, you're going to be in the Super Bowl. And I was like, okay. Just out of nowhere. And I feel like since then we've had rehearsals every week. We've had rehearsals with the orchestra, with just brass, just individual sections. And ever since then I've been practicing every day, probably like an hour every day in preparation for that. And yeah, we've just been practicing.
Are you like allowed to tell us who's gonna like singers and artists gonna be there?
So basically the way I'm gonna play at the Super Bowl, it's gonna be at the beginning, because now they're playing the national anthem, and then they're also playing what's referred to as the Black National Anthem, which is Lift Every Voice and Sing. And so I'm gonna be playing that with the gospel singers, Mary Mary, the group. So yeah, I'm with them.
It's gonna be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited. In the first week or so when they told me, I was kind of taken back. I was kind of shocked in that manner, and I wasn't overjoyed. But I think now, leading up to it, I'm like really excited to participate.
We're really excited. We have a student from Montebello High playing at the National Super Bowl. Well, it was just gonna be watched by millions.
Yes.
Across the US. Okay, I understand you get a ticket to watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so the crazy thing is, I get a ticket to the Super Bowl, and tickets for like the last seat go for $5,000, so I think it's just a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I'm just very excited to just attend the game, obviously, and it's like one of the only times I'm ever gonna go, so I'm really thankful for my program for giving us that opportunity.
And you got a lucky year, which is going to be in LA's own SoFi Stadium, and the Rams, our city team. Yeah. So, go Rams.
Yeah. Sure.
Out of out of all subjects and all careers, why did you choose astrophysics?
So astrophysics. So as a kid, I've always loved, planets, galaxies, stars. Just basic stuff. Because as a kid, you're fascinated by everything. But in 5th grade, we had a project on famous people in the scholar, or famous scholars basically. And I had the opportunity to research Albert Einstein, and he's a very famous physicist. His theory of relativity, of general relativity. And I thought to myself, I really want to do this. I really want to go into physics. And actually, on my Chromebook, on the school issue Chromebook, I have a picture of myself in 5th grade saying, I want to be a scientist. And I feel since then that's been my goal. And so when deciding whether I wanted to study molecular physics or astrophysical physics, I just was really influenced by, NASA, for example, or just researching black holes, So I feel like that's really influenced my decision into going into astrophysics.
That's true. Hopefully one day you give us more productive and more interesting information about black holes. We just recently got the first image, which was a very big and hard work to reach. They say only 3-4 people understand the general theory of relativity. So good luck with that. Other than Einstein, like what scientists did influence you?
Another person particularly that influenced me was, well, first of all, I researched the nuclear weapons. So for example, during World War II, obviously the most famous example. And I was really intrigued by Oppenheimer, his life story, how he came to develop such a weapon of mass destruction. And what really stuck with me with his quote, I have become deaf, destroyer of worlds. And I feel like he knew, or he didn't know that his creation would lead to so much destruction, but it did. And I just feel like he's had such a profound influence on me, that even just discovering how to break an atom can influence such large movements,
That's true. I've read about another physicist who, no, I don't think a physicist. He I just can't remember. He worked with fertilizer or something. I don't know if you've heard of it. Fertilizer. He's he worked prior to war. It's interesting generally when war comes, how it mobilizes everything, even scientists, from civil inventions into more destructive war-like inventions. Definitely. What would you say was your favorite musician? Who would you listen to when you're feeling down or sad?
In terms of who I listen to or what music I listen to a lot of music. In my orchestra, I play classical music, so I tend to listen to a lot of Dvorak, a lot of Brahms, a lot of Bach. And because I live in a Mexican household, I listen to a lot of cumbia groups, I listen to a lot of banda groups, Banda MS, Los Yaquis, I think that's what they're called. I'm not sure. So in terms of music, I listen to everything in between.
It's nice to have a broad sense of music. It opens up. How many times have you repeated a certain note or a certain line? What do you call it?
I got you. Yeah.
And didn't work. What's the hardest song? What's the hardest song you ever played?
The hardest song I ever played was during my middle school years, because I was working on this big solo, and to be honest, looking back at it now, it was too big for me. It was called The Slavonic Fantasy by Carl Holm, I believe, and it sounds really cool. I loved it. I listened to it when I was at Interlochen actually, and I was like, I want to play this. And so I told my teacher, and he said, well, why don't we work on it and then take you to what do you call it? Take you to a competition, a solo competition. And so we worked on it, obviously, but it was harder than I thought it would be. And so the day of the competition, I did mess up, you know. I failed actually, but I kept my composure because, you know, when you're playing, you can't let your emotions show, because that just lets people watching you know that you're giving up. And so I just kept playing. I just kept going in when I needed to or when I could. And at the end of the rehearsal, I bowed and left. And I feel from that experience especially, I feel that I've been humbled by my playing ability, and I've put in the work to better myself because of it.
It was definitely a challenge, and every failure is a chance to learn.
Exactly.
They say. Always taking new challenges is important, because the goal is not to master everything. The goal is to stay trying,
Exactly.
Stay getting better. How do you balance your time between work and music and school?
So my daily schedule is, well, for the week, I guess, on Mondays and Thursdays and Saturdays, I have my youth orchestra. And so Mondays especially, we have minimum day. But I tend to do my homework, as much homework as I can during school, so I don't have to do it afterwards. And then I go to music program at 4:30 all the way to 7:30, so it's 3 hours of dedicated time to that. And then besides that, I have to practice for an hour at least. But I feel like I've done it in a way that I don't feel overly stressed about it, and I do find time to, you know, give back to myself. I play video games a lot, so that's my way of de-stressing, I guess.
What's your favorite video game or favorite video games?
My favorite franchise, you could say, is Halo. I really love Halo. You know, I grew up with it. I grew up with Halo Combat Evolved all the way to Halo Infinite, and I feel that, you know, that's just my favorite game franchise.
It's a big deal, and it's an honor to represent Montebello High School at the Super Bowl, especially being coming from a Latino family. How do you feel about that?
I honestly just feel that it's crazy. You know, I would have never expected, coming from where I am, to be able to play at such a big event, it's just crazy, you know. And I feel, especially to me, I'm proud of myself. You know, I can say that I'm proud of myself. But my parents especially, they're very proud of me. But I feel like my family is not really into football, I guess you could say. I don't personally watch it. But, I mean, everybody knows the Super Bowl, you know? And so my parents were like, "You're going to perform in the Super Bowl?" And I'm like, "Yes." I was like, "I guess we have to watch it now." Not just, you know, the mid... I don't know what it's called. The halftime show, exactly, yeah. My family, I think they're just going to stay at our house and watch it. But I hadn't really considered that, like inviting my family over to watch it. So I think that's a pretty good idea to go watch it together, just so they can see me on the big screen. You know, that's crazy. 40,000 people, or I don't know how much SoFi Stadium fits, and I'm gonna be right in front of them. So I'm just nervous, first of all, but I'm very excited.
Concluding, check out Rayme Aquino at the Super Bowl at LA's very own SoFi Stadium, the one and only Rayme Aquino. See you next time.
Hey Rayme, very excited, very proud of you. I know you're going to be at the Super Bowl. You know, I wish I could be there with you, but I can't play an instrument. But you know, I've known you since 8th grade. You've always been an outstanding student, a better person, and again, you're always looking for opportunities. And this is a great one. I think it's a once in a lifetime for a lot of people to attend a Super Bowl. But wish you luck, have a lot of fun, and represent Montebello High School well, which I know you'll do. Take care, Rayme.
Hi, Rayme. As an Oiler through and through, I just wanted to say how proud I am of you and your accomplishments. And I'll be watching the Super Bowl this Sunday. Go Oilers!
Rayme, we're all very proud of you. This is an incredible accomplishment, and it's due to the incredibly hard work that you put in as a musician day after day. Best wishes and salutations on this performance of a lifetime, and I look forward to talking to you about it after the Super Bowl. And say hi to Mary J. Blige for me.